But first, the chief suspect in the attack at Parnell Square, which left 3 young children and 2 adults injured, is due to be questioned by Gardaí. Michael O'Toole, crime correspondent for the Mirror, joins us now. Michael, good morning.
Morning, Pat.
Now, first of all, what are the latest developments? Because one might have expected that the chief suspect would have been questioned prior to this. What's been going on?
Obviously there was a response by passers-by. We know this. People like Caio Benicio and Warren Donohoe were involved in saving the children in the middle of the attack. And obviously Leanne Flynn Keogh was the creche worker who was the first person who intervened when the first child was stabbed. Now, as a result of the intervention by the men, this man received head injuries. We know, for example, that Caio Benicio said he hit him. Caio is a Brazilian delivery driver. And Caio frankly said that he whacked him with his helmet, and he whacked him hard. Now, as a result of the incident, this man received head injuries. He was rushed to the Mater Hospital, which isn't that far away from Parnell Square East, where the attack happened on the 23rd of November. So he was placed in an induced coma because he had suffered significant head injuries. Gardaí were obviously waiting to speak to this man. Now, we did a story last week that there were fears that his injuries were extremely serious, and it would be quite some time before Gardaí would get to speak to him. But I think it was yesterday or the day before, he came out of the coma. He was taken off the induced coma, and significantly, he's awake and he's breathing by himself. Now, he's still seriously ill, and Gardaí will not be able to question him immediately, but the guidance I was given yesterday was perhaps by the end of this week, maybe the start of next week. Very much, obviously, in situations like this, Pat, it's not for Gardaí to decide. It's for the medical experts who are looking after this man, and they will decide. But the guidance I was given is that will be sooner rather than later. It won't be a month. It won't be a couple of weeks. Could be the end of this week, start of next week.
Yeah. Now, we know nothing really about this chief suspect. We've heard something of his background, that he's a naturalised Irish citizen, been in the country for 20 years. But we don't know anything about any underlying medical conditions he may have,
Well, we do. We know that he had a brain tumour a couple of years ago. He had it removed, and he suffered and that caused mental health difficulties for him, really. And we know a family member approached Gardaí after the incident and tried to offer this as an explanation. So Gardaí have been doing a big dive into his background. We know, for example, that he's living in accommodation in the Dublin area, shall we say, and Gardaí seized his mobile phone and his computer, and they've been researching those. So they're searching his health background and also his other background. But I think it's safe to say that they found no evidence, for example, of any extremist literature or anything like that on either his phone or on his laptop.
Now, he has yet to be questioned and therefore yet to be charged. But we will expect the Gardaí to question him, as you say, fairly quickly. And then they will make up their mind what the next course of action is going to be, and we won't prejudge that. Now, how about the other victims of the stabbing incident? What do we know of their condition?
Okay, so there were 3 children who were injured in this. One is a 5-year-old girl who suffered very, very catastrophic, I suppose, injuries. Then there was another boy and another girl and another boy who were less seriously injured. Now, the latter two, the second girl and the boy, were discharged from hospital. I think one was discharged the night of it, and the other was just discharged the day after. The girl who was most grievously injured is very, very critically ill in CHI Temple Street, which is also close to Parnell Square East, where the attack happened. Now, there were very, very serious concerns for the health of that child. Significantly, and I think this has come as a relief to Gardaí, because there's been lots of fake news about this, Pat. We know people have been doing all the conspiracy theories and everything. There is a GoFundMe page set up for the family of this child. Now, the child is anonymous. The parents are anonymous, obviously. But in that GoFundMe page, the mother, there were quotes given by the mother yesterday in which she basically said that her child is fighting. The child is still with us. We don't know what the future brings, but the girl is a fighter.
So, and the mother expressed confidence that such is the resilience of the child that she will thrive in spite of any handicaps she may have going forward,
Yes.
which gives us some indication as to how catastrophic the injuries may have been.
Yes, but just speaking to someone yesterday, I have to say I've been quite pessimistic, I have to say, over the last week. But just speaking to someone yesterday and taken with the mother, so I mean, I have the quote here. She talks about limitations will not stop her. So that is quite optimistic. So after speaking to people yesterday, I was more optimistic than I had been in previous days because there were very, very serious concerns for that girl. And obviously, she's entitled to her privacy, but I just I found it quite good, better than I had
Yeah.
feared over the last couple of days.
I mean, it is so unthinkable that such an attack should happen, but it has happened. And in addition to the children, of course, the worker with the children, Leanne Flynn Keogh, what do we know about her condition at the moment?
Yeah, so she was very seriously injured. Both she and the little child were very, very critically ill. Now, Miss Flynn Keogh, who saw the first child being stabbed, the child who was most seriously injured, heroically and fantastically, she stepped in to protect that child and to shield the other children, and she was stabbed herself. So she also was rushed to the matter. She spent a week in the intensive care unit. I discovered last week that she had been removed from intensive care into the high dependency unit. Now, I'm not a medical expert. My understanding is that's one level down from intensive care. So she's recovering. So look, I think for the child and for Miss Leanne Keogh, it is cautious good news. I'll put it that way.